What is going on, Raider Nation? Time to break down the draft. Coming up, with the third pick in the NFL draft, the Raiders could select somebody. But first of all, we got to talk about a little bit of off-season. I think we've made some decent signings in the sense that we didn't go excessively spending. I mean, Nick Roach, Piercy Porter, not any big contracts in reality. I think Mike Jenkins was added. But these are all short-term deals or guys that are under very cheap wages. They got to earn their way to a long-term deal if they want to play with this team, and they're doing the right thing. Sure, there's some flaws in some of these guys. We signed, I think, Rashad Jennings, the Jaguars' backup running back. But the good news is we're spending smart, and we're not giving stupid contracts. We got rid of our stupid contracts this past offseason. Tommy Kelly, gone. Carson Palmer, we actually got something out of him. We were able to get a 6th-round pick just out of him just because of that contract we had to get rid of. Darius Hayward-Bay had to get cut. I mean, sadly, this was Al Davis's mistake. Sure, he had promised in his last year, the year before, but this current system and regime, they're not going to like it. Contract was a little too big. Michael Huff, also gone. A lot of guys just gone, which includes Rolando McClain. Thank goodness. There's a lot of things in the draft and a lot of holes that we got to fill. But to me, the biggest one is defensive tackle or defensive end. Any defensive lineman is probably our biggest need. Sure, there's other needs at other positions, but if you draft a guy at the 3rd overall, there's 2 guys I'm willing to draft to that position. I'm willing to take Shariff Floyd, and I'm willing to take Lotulelei. I think those 2 guys can make that impact, clog up the middle of defensive tackle. Those are the 2 I'm really interested in. Sure, at offensive line, if that Luke Joeckel guy was available, I'd take him, but I'm thinking the Chiefs will probably go after him. Jacksonville, it's somewhat questionable. Who knows where Jacksonville's going to take their draft? They have a lot of holes as well, and you don't know what the current regime out there is thinking. So, depending on what Jacksonville does, if they take Floyd, I wouldn't mind trading down at the same time. I think there's a lot of defensive linemen in this draft, like Bjorn Werner. I would be willing to take if we trade down. There's a few things, of course, we've got to get, and that's a 2nd-round pick. The only way you do that is you trade down the 3rd pick. But yeah, thanks a lot, Hugh Jackson. 2nd-round pick is missing, and they got to get a reasonable package if some team wants to trade up for the 3rd overall pick. But if Floyd is available and Jacksonville don't take him, I'm drafting him at 3rd overall. Simple enough. Other holes that the team has to fill, or people I don't want to get drafted at that pick. I don't want D. Millender or the quarterback taken, because one corner ain't going to solve our problems. We need defensive line. Probably offensive line needs a little bit of help too. I think even though Jared Valdir showed some promise at the end of last year, Wisniewski was a positive. There's still some problems, I think, on the offensive line that was flawed. I know zone blocking scheme hurt, but we could find a guy that fits our power blocking system that'd work. I wouldn't mind if Chance Warmack was drafted if we trade down. That's another pick I surely do not mind. Otherwise, though, we can just trade down defensive line or offensive line. I'd be happy with a position taken there. Other holes, though, probably you draft a safety. I think safety is somewhat of a hole. So take that in the later rounds. You probably take another cornerback just for depth purposes. Take a linebacker for depth. Most of this draft should be addressed with defense, and I think that'd be the smartest thing to do. Offensive line, you can stock up on that as well. Maybe one late wide receiver, but offensive line at pretty much every position on defense is what I want drafted. I got names down below, so if you want to see names that maybe I'm interested in or that I've looked up that I think maybe Mackenzie will draft, check out the description below. But otherwise, yeah, those are the people I kind of want. I'm happy that Reggie McKenzie has cut the dead weight. If somebody pans out really well for next year, we can see at least them get re-signed because we'll have the cap room for it. Reggie wants to build through the draft, so this is obviously an important time for him. He finally has some draft picks. Not a full draft, but he does have a 1st-round pick this time. He can make a decision that hopefully he knows what he's doing. Otherwise, though, hey, Matt Flynn, just Why not? Late round pick. It's better than drafting a quarterback in this draft. I didn't want to see Geno Smith on the Raiders. That would have pissed me off. So I'm perfectly fine just going with a guy. He's going to audition. It's an audition year for quarterbacks. And if they don't pan out, you draft one next year. So they got to prove to themselves. They got to be hungry. And that goes with every free agent we sign. They got to be hungry to earn a bigger contract in the future. So that's about all I got in this Raiders draft. I think I'll have a reaction video to the what I think, at least the first round pick, what they do in the first round, but it won't be up instantly like I did a few years ago. This one will not be up until probably midnight or something by the time I'm done with work. So I'll be a little busy, but I'll have a reaction somewhere 6 or 8 hours after the first round ends. So see you guys later, your Raiders. And, by the way, just remember, life is short. I'm wearing this UCLA baseball hat. I don't have anything Boston, and I hate Boston sports teams, but I'm a person, and they are people too. No one deserves unnecessary injuries and pain, and even a few deaths like that. Just keep those people in your hearts. Life is short. Anything can happen sometimes. Just remember those big violent days, and hopefully there can be justice served on the person who committed those bombings. Which is why you should remember, never forget what happened. This video was uploaded on April 16th. So that was the 6-year anniversary of the infamous incident at Virginia Tech. So remember those victims, and just remember the violence that happens, and war of life. Don't take it for granted. So, go Raiders. See you guys later, and let me know what you guys think coming up in the draft. I'll have the names below. See you guys later.